Hey guys, in this video I want to break down my process of the Santa mobile modeling and designing and sketching, whatever. Like in total it took a little bit over 1 hour. We will now see part by part how much time it took to sketch, to do the base model and then visualization and everything. But I can tell you the final result that you see here, it was achieved after less than 1.5 hours. I think it's pretty exciting, huh? If you follow me on Instagram and if you saw a couple of posts, actually I was sharing like kind of live update when I did like first 10 minutes and then second 10 minutes, how it works. We will see now a little bit more detailed, and it will again show how much I love Blender and why I love it. I love using it and how super efficient it is. So it all started with this Hot Wheels model here that I saw. I bought it and I was like, yeah, let's sketch something like this. So I started sketching and I thought like it will be only one sketch. I will post it on Instagram to celebrate Christmas and the holiday season and like New Year's, post something. So that's how it started. I was not planning to model it or something. And this sketching process in total took 19 minutes. And you can see I first start with the basic proportions and putting the perspective. I wanted to use very dramatic perspective here because also on this Hot Wheels it's like very long hood, if we can call it hood, a little bit like GT proportions. I wanted to do it, so I was exaggerating. And on the front we don't have wheels, we have these attachments to slide and get our rotation maybe on the snow, like a snowmobile or something. But on the hood and on the front of the car I wanted to use, actually I was maybe a little bit lazy. I wanted to make it like very simple way and a little bit more like a Corvette, like a little bit American style. This front area I can even say it's a little bit like Corvette Stingray, like this older generations, I think from 60s. And I was combining it with the rest of the vehicle, and of course I had to put Santa inside. I'm not good at drawing people or figures, so it was very basic, very representative way of sketching Santa, and then putting a huge gift box on the back of him, of course. I mean, if you look at this design function wise, it's not functional at all because we have a huge bonnet for no reason, and then we have the luggage area very small actually, but it should be the opposite maybe because it's a fantasy world, so we don't need a huge engine or something. We would use a lot more luggage space for more kids and more gifts, right? But anyway, then I started to put some markers. I started with the reds, like the first light red, and then adding some more reflections with a little bit darker red, more saturated. And as you see, I'm like very relaxed on markers, using it very loose and just to show the main volumes and stuff. Then I started to paint also a little bit side attachments with gray to have this metallic effect. And also on the rear I decided to put, rather than a wheel, maybe something like a triangular palette or something for the snow and the mountains and everything. I mean, I guess this sleigh will fly, but still I wanted to use this snow and off-road type of combination just for fun, because there's no rule that Santa cannot be a badass person, right? And after putting markers, I like to emphasize some lines again with the ballpoint pen, just to emphasize and bring them back onto focus point to refine some lines, let's say. And the first sketch is done this way. I also wanted to see it from the side view, because it's always fun to sketch a side view, why not? And I wanted to exaggerate this GT proportions and connecting some lines with each other, like the windshield and the metal attachments on the side, on the front. And I just wanted to emphasize the silhouette more from the side view, how it looks. Actually, now when I'm telling it, I realized on the 3D model I didn't put the windshield, I guess. We need to check this. Yeah, maybe I totally forgot about it. Anyway, I'm using the line weight and the line quality to balance and make more dramatic and more dynamic sketch. And if you don't know what does it mean, you can just check out my online courses, link in the description, to learn how to sketch cars and all the basics. And again, adding this huge gift box on the back, even like longer than the rear end of the car, or I mean, if you can call it a car. And then adding some markers again, just to see general reflections and the color. I mean, it's Christmas spirit, right? It should be red. It's about Santa, so why not red? So here we go. That was the sketching process. It took in total 19 minutes. And here is the Hot Wheels model that I got inspired by. After sketching, I thought like, okay, why not to give it a shot on Blender very quickly. I was curious what can I do in a quick way, because I really don't have time. You know, it's holiday season. I'm not even at home. As you see, I don't have like my typical work environment, but I decided to just give it a shot, more like a fun modeling. And of course, first I checked for free Santa model, and I will leave the link of this free model down in the description. You can also grab your Santa and create your model, why not? And thanks for people who share their models for free and helping us having fun. So I found this Santa model. I think it's very well done and it works more than enough for my purpose, so I downloaded it. I imported in Blender, like basic rotation, and then I just imported the sketch. You don't even need a blueprint. I didn't even corrected the perspective of the photo or anything. I just imported my sketch from the side view. I kind of rotated it and bring it next to Santa, and I started the basic modeling. This first part of the modeling took around 9 minutes. Again, that's why I love Blender. Like in 9 minutes, I already created this first idea. I wanted like the first volumes to see the interaction, the relation between Santa and the hood and all these proportions by just pulling vertices. Like in general, polygonal modeling is very helpful for creating quick models, as you know, and that's what I was doing. I was having fun. I was actually like drinking wine and having chat with people, and I was not even focused totally on modeling this, so it was kind of like very rough, fun modeling. I was not even sure if I will share or something, but you know, when you start, that's the key. Like when you start something, you just go on with it. But if I overthought, if I was like, I have to model it, I have to finalize, it would be like huge task that I wouldn't even start. So here is a little tip, like if you procrastinate things, don't just start. You don't think about how it will end up, because when you start, you will just go on, you will just carry on and keep on working. And then I added this material, the red material, metallic material, and it immediately looked cool, because that's what I love again about Blender. When you're modeling, you can already put the material, and it motivates me to just keep on modeling. So this part was 9 minutes, and I just shared it on Instagram when I done with this 9 minutes. I was like, hey, look what I did in 9 minutes, and you guys were amazing. I got some comments and a lot of enthusiasm, so I was like, okay, let's just keep on moving. Let's do another 9 minutes and let's see what will happen. So here's the part 2 of modeling. It took also 9 minutes. I actually wanted to just stop after 9 minutes to see the process, like when I divide in less than 10 minutes what we can do in Blender. So I kept on pulling some vertices around, and I just started adding this attachment on the front, on the sides first. Of course, I put another material, the metallic gray, and then I just wanted to play around with the volumes of this Santa mobile. Then I wanted to add, like what I love to add actually while modeling is the floor, the ground, and I'm turning on the ambient lighting on the material preview or Eevee render engine, so this way I already see how it stands on the ground, because you know, in car design the stance is super important. By the way, I think it's a good time to say, if you don't know how to model in Blender, how to use Blender, you can just go check out my online Blender 3D for car design course. You can find a link in the description. So after that, after you learn Blender, you can also do something very cool in 1 hour. Why not? So I was keep on modeling. I just came to front part, and again I wanted to keep this Corvette Stingray type of approach, but on the bonnet I kind of have, I don't know what, like aerodynamic front spoiler, front wing thing, you know, like in some Ferraris or many of the sports cars of today, like electric cars especially, because they don't have the engine front, they have like more flexibility to push the bonnet down, and you can have this front wing, let's say. So I wanted to use this because I put it on the sketch, so why not to put it on the model as well. Then I started to close the rest of the model. Like I wanted to get the general volume, like how it would look when I close all the volume. And of course on the sketch you don't think about all the details, so while modeling I was just tweaking the design a little bit and experimenting different surfacings and different volumes. And then I wanted to add this rear triangular palette thing to see how it will be after that. So maybe I don't need to model all the details of the volume, so I can just cover it with this attachment on the back and some kind of connect this to each other. So I created it very quickly and very roughly, just adding some solidify thickness and adding some mirror modifier to see the general proportions of it. So it was also like a bit less than 9 minutes. I also shared it on Instagram. Again, it was like going well. I saw a good reaction and it kept me motivated. Then I started modeling part 3. It's also 9 minutes. But it's not a coincidence because I was stopping it after 9 minutes. It was kind of like a thing for me after the first 2. I was like, okay, let's do another 9 minutes and let's see what will happen. So I started this palette thing again. I just added some more edge loops. I would also use probably some kind of array and curve modifiers, but I was not confident with using them because I was not sure how will be the result. So I just wanted to just keep it physically. Like I just wanted to take the model, add some edge loops and extend the stuff, scale things, and just create very basic but still looking cool type of rubber palette on the back. So that's what I did. I selected like all the faces and deselected checker deselect it's called. So you can select like one, select one, deselect one, select, like it does it automatically for you. Like a little tip here. And then I just scale them up on the normals, I guess, and just tweaking them a little bit, scaling them proportionally, moving them on the normals, and it kind of became already like the teeth of the rubber palette, let's say. So as I see, it's been like almost 4 minutes and I'm done with the rubber part. Then I wanted to add a couple of cylinders inside to show not like detailed how it works, of course, but we need something mechanical there to rotate and move this thing. So I just created different materials and some kind of covered connections there. And my modeling is not like step by step, like starting from front and finish the front and then go back to rear. Or also while sketching, I don't do it like this because you need to keep the whole idea in your mind when you are, especially on the ideation part, on the first designing part. You cannot just finish the back and then go to front or vice versa. So I was just jumping from rear to front. I was just tweaking the volumes. I was adding some very basic interior to cut the Santa and to have the depth of the interior because obviously it's visible. And then also going to this front attachment, metal attachment, and adding some thickness, and then going back again, doing some interior. And at the end, I just wanted to add this huge gift box on the back, like in the sketch, to see how it looks. And at the end, after 8.5 minutes, I added this shade smooth to see how it would be, the surfaces. And we are done with another 9 minutes here. And the next part, modeling part 4, took 13 minutes. And let's see what we did here. I just added some more edge loops and focused on refining some elements like the front attachment. So it was already like 3 times 9, 27 and 13 more, 40 minutes. Yeah, it was the first day. I was actually asking you if I should just keep on drinking wine or focus on modeling in Blender, and it was like almost midnight, so I decided to just stop after this part for the first day. It was 40 minutes of modeling in total, and I decided to add some connections between the rear palettes and the body itself. As you see, on the first time, it was very parallel, it was very like straight lines. The palette was directly on the next, on the side of the cabin, on the rear of the cabin, let's say. Later I will change it, we will see. And between that, the Santa was, I didn't even bother to rotate the legs or something, like giving him a sitting position. I just get into edit mode, I just selected the legs and below the health of the guy, and then I just deleted this vertice. So all I needed was help of the Santa just to be there as representative person. And then I just adjusted some more parts. I added this edge loops and I added the subdivision modifier to the vehicle, because so far I was using flat shading, or even if it's smooth shading, I didn't have the subdivision yet, just to be sure about the general volumes and everything. So after adding the subdivision, I had to add some more edge loops to make some parts sharper than the rest, and I was already quite happy with the results so far. Then I wanted to add some kind of lighty materials, emission material, to get some, you know, more spice into design, let's say. So I wanted to write Santa Car Cheers, because I was still drinking wine. It's almost Christmas, you know, holiday season. So I wrote just Cheers here, and I added some emission material like technological blue, I would say. Then I put it on this both sides, because on Eevee rendering engine or in material preview, which is more or less the same thing, I turned on the bloom effect, which gives this a lot of lights, and it's Christmas, so why not adding lights. Also on the front, I wanted to add very basic headlights on both sides, then refining a little bit more the edges, and this was the modeling part 4. So we are actually done with the modeling. There was maybe a mini part 5 of modeling, but I didn't screen record it, as I see, I cannot find it. But what I did basically was downloading some free models like Christmas tree and this gift boxes, rather than just modeling them, because this is another advantage of Blender. You can find a lot of polygonal models that you can download and import into your scene, so you can save huge amount of time. That's why we finalized this model very quickly, actually. And another thing I did was moving the rear palettes a little bit more backwards, because on the top view I wanted to have more dynamic approach. Rather than right next to the cabin, I wanted to push them a little bit backwards, so it's a little bit more dynamic and dramatic proportions, I can say. So on this part, it's just visualization, and it took around 17 minutes. Basically, I just arranged the things that I downloaded, like this gift box. I added different colors to each of them, added some like a metallic color, because it doesn't mean the boxes are metal, but you know, this wrapping paper is very shiny wrapping paper, so I thought if I just give metallic material, it would look like this. So that's what I did. And just positioning them and then adding some more colors on the rest of the vehicle, like on this rear attachments. I also wanted to use some body paint, this red color, to add a little bit more interesting touch, let's say. Then here actually I wasted some time. I didn't know yet how to add snow. I mean, I didn't know the snow add-on, so I just added the noise texture to the ground plane, and I was just playing around to have some kind of displacement or some kind of bump to make it look like snow actually. So as you see, like, I was just wasting time there, even if it was quick, still quick to make your own snow type of material. Later, soon you will see that actually I already shared a mini tutorial before this video on YouTube, which is like in 1 minute how to make a fluffy snow on anything you want. It's just crazy. I just fell in love with this thing. And then I also I have the transportation add-on that you can also find a link in the description. With this add-on you can have your own library of pre-modeled good quality cars, and I just imported RS4 and Lamborghini Urus just to see the dimension wise how it looks, if it's totally nonsense or if it's kind of like an exaggerated proportions concept vehicle. And I think it is like this. It's like, compared to these two existing cars, it looks a little bit longer. It's more Santa style in my opinion, because this thing can fly, it can go on snow, and it can do many things, and we don't need realistic engine or volumes or mechanical technical package. Actually, on that point I was thinking to add this Christmas tree on top of Urus and top of Audi to create kind of like a crew and give them the same colors and the gift boxes and stuff. But honestly, I didn't have time. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to focus on my own design and just finalize the visualization. So I removed these other cars, and then I found out about the snow add-on. And as you see, with just a couple of clicks, you have realistic snow on top of your design and also on the floor. You can decide the density of it. You can decide how much it will cover around. So it was just amazing. So I think I talked too much about it. I just shared it on my Instagram stories. I even made a mini tutorial about it. So I was like, snow, snow, snow. And also I was just outside on that day on the mountains, and I was seeing the real snow in real life. Actually, still there is snow outside, and I was modeling snow. It was like everything is white, everything is snow. It's pretty fun. I like snow, I think. So after that, I just refined the snow a little bit, and I just created the scene. I just kept one more tree like next to the design, and I wanted to set up an animation, so I added an empty for the camera rotation and parent them to each other, and just created the keyframes. So I had a 360 degrees turntable animation here. So this is how it's done. So in total, I think it was something like 74-75 minutes, but there are some unrecorded parts. Of course, there's a little bit more thought process, so I can say it took 1.5 hours in total, the whole thing, including the first 20 minutes of sketching, of course. So that's why I love Blender, and it was super fun also interacting with you guys on Instagram and here on YouTube to see your approach, to see that you guys are also excited about this. So it was really fun. In 1.5 hours we gave Santa a gift. I thought he should give us some gifts, but anyway, I think this will be the last video on YouTube until the new year. So have a great holiday season, have a great new year, just rest a little bit, be ready for the new year, and let's make some plans about the new year, like some professional goals, you know? Like, I like talking about portfolio or like how to get job or something. Like, I also have my own personal plans. Like, I want to be more active here. I want to share more things. I want to do more designs like this on my free time. So we should talk about all this stuff, I guess, in January, right? There are some new videos coming, new ideas coming. I want to share more about my daily life as well. So we will talk a lot more in 2022, hopefully, and I will see you there. Bye.